What is up, everybody? I am one of your hosts and the longest reigning and current WWE pay-per-view champion. I am the one you all came to see, the hot commodity and see, and I'm joined by my good friends and co-hosts. I'll introduce first to my left. Introduce yourself, my good friend.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony. I'm coming back after missing yesterday's, but I'm back now.
Welcome back, welcome back. Love that song. All right, and introducing my friend down below us. Hello, sir.
My name is Christian, longtime co-host. Excited to talk about SmackDown. This was actually a pretty good SmackDown. Not gonna lie. After the draft, we're seeing a bunch of new faces on this brand we haven't seen in a long time. And we'll talk about that at the very first match. But I'm excited for this new era of SmackDown, and I hope it's good.
I agree. I feel like this episode was much more wrestling, and I'm more of into that. Like, obviously, I like the storylines. I like knowing what's going on, but like, I like how we dive right into action as we start the night. So, yes, we're covering WWE Friday Night SmackDown from May 12th, 2023, live at the University of Texas. I hate when they don't give us an actual like town, but they're there in the University of Texas. So, our first match is a triple threat match. The winner goes on to the main event to have a singles match against the winner of the next triple threat match. And then the winner of that match goes on to Night of Champions to take on Seth Rollins to crown the first ever World Heavyweight Champion. And our competitors in this match, we got Rey Mysterio, Edge, and AJ Styles. And I was, happy to see all three of these guys because they're legends in their own rights. Obviously, Edge and Rey are Hall of Famers. AJ Styles needs to be a Hall of Famer just in general for all of his work that he's done prior to WWE, even though he hasn't really done a lot since being here, not because he's not good, but just because I don't think give him a lot of creative storylines lately. I think the last good storyline he had was against The Undertaker, and that was like 3 years ago. But anyways, it's just my opinion. So a lot of action here, a lot of good action. I didn't know who was going to win this. The ending comes when Ray hits 619 to Edge, and then AJ Styles nails a phenomenal forearm to Edge and gets a 3 count. AJ Styles advancing, pinning Edge. Let me throw it to Ant. Ant, do you think AJ Styles is the right guy to win? Obviously, I don't because I wanted Edge to win. But what do you think? Do you think AJ is the right guy to head on down over these two?
Yeah, I was looking from the very beginning of the tournament for a Styles Rollins ending. Like that's what I was hoping for.
Mm-hmm.
I get that Edge was the sentimental pick. He retired and gave up the title at the very end there 9 years ago, or maybe it's 11 years ago now. I don't remember how long ago it is now. But Styles still has, out of those three guys, has the most left in the tank, I think. And if you're going to build this title, I don't think you want to do the flip flop of the title. You want to build some prestige with this title, so let the guy, whoever wins it, to kind of keep it for a while. I miss the Styles Clash so much. I hate the phenomenal forearm as his finisher. I love the Styles Clash. I think this is a great move in TNA.
I love it, man.
It was such a good move. So I was okay with Styles.
What about the spiral tap? Does he still do that? No, right?
No.
I was watching
he does
some
the calf
old
crusher
school.
more than anything.
Oh my god, his old school stuff, like my god, like he's just a killer, man. I do you guys? Here's a question, and the follow up question for you though. Like, do you think that Christian can answer this too? Do you think that they're giving? Because I don't think they're really giving Styles a lot of stuff to do here in WWE. Do you guys think that he's not like tapping into his full potential, or do you think being his age now that he's done it for so long, this is kind of where he's at, or do you think like if you were to go to a different company, you'd see crazy stuff from him? Like, what do you think? Because you don't see a lot of stuff from him, and it's not really his fault. But comparative to even when he was in Japan recently, you're not getting a lot of this AJ here in WWE. What do you think?
Yeah, I think when he went over to Japan, he was, a big American name, and I think Japan knows how to capitalize on that. They did it with Rhodes, they did it with Styles. They even used the Good Brothers fairly well over there. They took big American names and used them really well. And AJ Styles was a name that in a company that wasn't, the most profitable, wasn't the biggest. He got over in TNA. He was TNA for a very long time. I think he's probably like in his early to mid 40s now. I'm assuming.
Mhm.
So he himself said that he's winding down his career. He seems like the type of guy that will give back to the wrestling community. So I think you'll see him, not be winning, high profile matches. I think he's going to be more of a guy who's going to be, kind of passing it down to the next generation. So we'll see him with matches like with like Carmelo Hayes or guys like that, where he still puts on these, not to use the word, but phenomenal matches. But I don't see him necessarily needing the win, as some guys might need to be as like they're coming up. So I don't think, and not to like knock AEW or anything like that, but if he goes to AEW, yeah, they might use him for like the first few months as like this huge attraction, like they did with Bryan Danielson. But like Bryan's not winning over there either. He's never won the title over there, so I don't think they would put it on him either. So I just think Styles is a huge name, so they use him to really use his name to get some recognition in these matches. So I think Styles is a good choice there.
Okay. Yeah, no, I agree. I just feel like for me, like he's been on this since 2016, and I'm just yo, Christian, yo, homie, you
It's
listen,
hot as shit in this room, bro. In my
oh
room,
boy,
bro.
you're fucking leaving nothing to the
I
lady
totally forgot that I was in my underwear.
yeah.
My bad. I totally forgot.
Hey, listen, I ain't complaining. Do you, buddy? We ain't gonna complain.
We're all guys here.
Listen,
Well,
Michael,
sorry,
so
for your lady listeners, sorry.
sorry, ladies watching. Well, I don't know, nothing to be sorry about, Christian. Here's the thing. I think with AJ Styles, I just feel like I'm waiting to see, like, another quick question, and then I'm gonna move to you, Christian. If I want to show someone an AJ Styles match, right, that you could think of off the top of your head, not from TNA, but from WWE, that like someone who hasn't really seen a lot of AJ's works, but like only wants to see his stuff here, like what do you think is AJ's best match here in WWE that like people can really see the best of his work? I know a lot of people are gonna say him versus The Undertaker, but like I mean more like nitty gritty, like match wise.
No, it was him versus Cena at the Rumble. That was like the
And
match for him.
17. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, that
that
was a
that
good
that was the match for Styles, and
one. Okay.
it was John Cena. Like it was the WWE guy versus the TNA guy. Like that was a match that we waited for. If there was ever going to be like a dream crossover, you would put those two guys against each other because they were the athletic guys coming up. They were like the faces. But that would be the match that I would show people would be Styles against Cena at Rumble.
They were like the faces of like their company's generation, like
Yeah, that
2000
that that
Cena.
didn't mention each other at all.
Yep,
Like
yep.
WWE did not mention TNA for the majority of their existence. Like Angle made that one offhand comment to Owens and Zayn that one time.
Mm.
TNA like mentioned WWE every once in a while in the beginning, and they just never mentioned them ever again. They kind of just stayed in their own lanes. Like it's not like it is now.
Mm.
But no, yeah, that'd be the match I show people.
All right, definitely. Just good some ideas. All right, now Christian, sir, same questions for you here. Do you think that AJ is the right guy to win? And what about you? Like, do you agree with Andy? That's the best match that Styles has, or is there another match that I could show Ian over here who hasn't really seen a lot of Styles work?
You know what? I'm gonna say this. As much as I love AJ Styles, he's one of my all-time favorite in-ring competitors. I was a big TNA guy back in the day, as we were talking about it off air. So I'm happy he won the match, and I don't think he's the right guy to win in the match. I thought Edge was. I'm going to disagree a little bit. I think Edge should have been the guy to win. I was at the live show that AJ Styles got hurt at, and the reason why we haven't seen him in so long is because he's been injured. He recently came back like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And this is kind of his first match without involvement of the OC at all. So I think we need to see a little bit more of AJ Styles before he competes for a world championship right now. I agree with Ant though. He is, out of all three of these guys, does have the most left in the tank. As far as age, as far as just competing. But it doesn't matter who wins this match to me because I don't think that championship is coming on the blue brand. I do think Seth Rollins will win. Sadly, I would love to see AJ Styles make another world championship run. He had an amazing world championship run, I thought personally. He was entertaining. He was there every Friday. I thought his WrestleMania match with Shinsuke was also pretty good. That would be my match to show if you haven't seen. I agree with Ant. Uh, Although that John Cena match was fucking incredible, I would say Shinsuke versus AJ Styles at Mania for the world title because I mean, I am, but if you're not too familiar with Shinsuke, also that would also be a good match, and that was kind of his year where he won the Rumble, whatever. And I just think that was a good year for AJ Styles, going in the WrestleMania as champion. So that would be my match to show somebody. But I think Edge would have been the right guy to win it, even though I don't think he would have won the whole thing, just to have him getting the momentum. So when Seth Rollins does win it, Edge should be the next competitor, and we'll see what his retirement goes. But we'll see what happens. Maybe AJ Styles wins. We'll see. But this was a good match. They're all legends. AJ Styles is a future Hall of Famer. So this was just a fucking unpredictable match, and we haven't had those recently in WWE. So good match, entertaining.
Respect. I mean, I just am thinking about as you're talking, like I'm remembering like going back to like 2005, even like 2004. Like I can't imagine like Rey versus Edge versus AJ Styles like in their prime. Like that would have been like, I mean, they're still in their prime, they're killing it, but like my question for you guys though, quick as I move on though, is like, so because that's going to pretty much ruin the match for us if we know that, SmackDown already has a champion. Did they say that like this title is, exclusive to Raw, or did they like?
Yeah. They said it's exclusive to Raw, but I think, and everyone keeps complaining about that. They're like, how could there be a SmackDown people on this tournament? I think they just moved the superstar over to Raw.
That's what I was going to say.
This isn't like the NFL. Like they can just do that. Like it's not the hardest thing for them to do. They can just move the guy over to Raw. There's no legal binding agreement where he has to stay on SmackDown. They just move the guy over.
What they should have done is been like, listen, the guys that are like in the
competition,
exactly.
There was no need for a draft.
Yeah.
And if you were going to do the draft, you shouldn't have done it right now because it's
do it after. I've always said that too. They should have waited till after Backlash, till after they even did the Saudi Arabia show, because again,
you should do that during Royal Rumble season. So you don't win you don't win the SmackDown World Heavyweight Championship and then get drafted to Raw the next month later. And then you have to switch your championship. No one wants to do that. Bianca's held the Raw women, and I think they're waiting for. I don't know. This is all the draft did not need to happen right now. Yeah, everything was fine.
The one thing I don't understand, and we will move on, is like the whole thing with like the title swaps. Like, why do we need like just make friggin' this person stay on? Like, all right, Bianca, you're like, I just don't like the title switches. It doesn't make sense to me. There's no point in winning a title and having any merit to that title if you're just gonna be like, okay, you take it. I just fought for months for this. You take, I understand, them for storyline purposes, but it just doesn't make sense. But let's move on. Our next match, we have our second triple threat match of the night. We have Bobby Lashley taking on Sheamus and the WWE United States Champion Austin Theory. And what was fun about this match is the end comes. Bobby Lashley is busted open. They've been using a lot of blood lately in WWE, and I think this was actually, I think, by accident. He just ran right into that post, or got pushed right into that post. Sorry, bleeding really badly. Sheamus nails Austin Theory with a bro kick, and Bobby Lashley takes what's that word called? Looks up to Austin Theory here, steals Austin Theory's move. He basically tosses Sheamus out of the ring after Sheamus hits Theory with a bro kick, and then he pins Austin Theory. And Bobby Lashley versus AJ Styles is our main event. The winner of that will go on to take Seth Rollins. I asked you guys this question about AJ, so I'm going to ask the same question. Was Bobby the right guy? And I'll throw it to Christian first.
Yes, I do think Bobby was the right guy for this one. They killed his momentum, man. He didn't have a WrestleMania match. Instead, he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle on the SmackDown before, which was kind of lame. His Bobby Lashley's the shit. I enjoy him so much. I think his World Championship reign a couple years back was fucking great. So yeah, hell yeah. Theory's already the U.S. champion. Sheamus already has had his opportunity at a championship. They need to get Bobby Lashley going. he got pinned at Backlash, so that killed his momentum. Not having a WrestleMania match killed his momentum. Again, I don't think he's going to win it. This is just me. That's me personally. I just don't think he's going to win it. But this is the right way to go with him. We can't see him lose anymore. That's just going to kill his momentum, and you can't have this big almighty beast losing matches to Austin Theory. So yes, I do think the right guy here won, and I'm kind of excited to see what Bobby Lashley does. I would like to see him as a heel if he somehow wins the championship. But overall, good match. I love Bobby Lashley. This was his revenge, so we'll see.
Yeah, man, Bobby Lashley, don't sleep on him. He had a great Broken Skull sessions that I'm going to be dropping soon. All right, yeah, how about you? Is Bobby the right guy?
Yeah, Lashley's the right guy. I if I watch one more match of Lashley in Theory, I'm gonna freak out. I'm gonna freak out. You're not elevating that title. You're not advancing the title. Have Theory face somebody else. Let him face what do you call it? Waller now that he's on SmackDown. Like that would be a good feud. Let him face somebody else. I'm so tired of seeing Lashley with him. And every time I see Lashley in a match, I almost like can't believe how big of a guy he is.
He's fucking huge.
Like, he is gigantic and like just like jacked. And like my fiance was watching one time and she's like, "Is he like really that big?" Like, no, like he's like actually that big. Like, he's been like that forever too. But I think since he came back, he somehow he seemed bigger. And like as I'm like thinking about it, I don't remember the last time I saw a bad Bobby Lashley match. Like he like puts on really good, even if they're short, good matches. Lashley. Sheamus is at the point in his career where he doesn't really need these big matches. He's won everything. So I guess he hasn't won the Intercontinental title, right? No, he has.
I don't. I don't.
That's the one where he's still searching for. Is
yeah, because
that's his story. That's his arc.
Yep.
So Lashley was the right choice here. Theory, there's absolutely no need for him to win it. He's got the U.S. title. He's doing absolutely nothing with it. He's basically just walking around with it. And Lashley versus Styles, it was a good match. That's gonna be a good matchup. So I thought that was the right way to go with it.
Yeah, man, Lashley's a beast. He really is. He even stopped wasn't there like a bank robbery, and that he was able to actually stop it, which ended up hindering his Olympic aspirations. But you know what, Bobby
He's
Lashley,
a veteran.
yeah, 100% veteran. So like, definitely don't sleep on the Almighty. We see Grayson Waller backstage, and he asks Adam Pearce next week if he can have the winner of the main event as his guest on the Waller Effect. Good to see him. Not really a lot to talk about here. We'll talk more about him next week when his show debuts. We then see Baron Corbin taking on Cameron Grimes. And before the match, Baron Corbin trashes Cameron for being SmackDown's last pick. And Corbin says, in 2 minutes, you're going to be wishing you were back in NXT. And right as the bell rings, Corbin loses after Cameron nails a cave-in and gets a 3 count. Well, dude, Baron Corbin, like, just leaves. Like, literally, they have done nothing with him since he came. He's been a fucking waiter. He's been a fucking GM. He's been a king. He's been all these things, and nothing has worked for him. Again, Cameron Grimes is a good wrestler, but I don't think this is good for Cameron because it's just like it didn't really do anything. This is your debut, and you really get to show off your stuff. Christian, thoughts on Cameron Grimes and this situation? I mean, what are your thoughts?
I mean, Grimes is talented. We'll see what he does in the main roster, but I just don't think it's impressive getting a pinfall victory over Baron Corbin, who has nothing good for him. I mean, for fucking crying out loud, he had JBL as his manager, and he couldn't even do anything. He's gimmick after failed gimmicks. So we'll see what Cameron Grimes can do. But this match, this was a piss break for me.
Yeah, same here. How about you, Ann?
First, I loved Cameron Grimes when he was a $1 Million Man on NXT, and he had the $1 Million Championship. I thought that was a great pairing. Grimes has talent. Like he really could be a really good, solid mid-card star. And he's got a great finisher. That stomp is really cool. The problem is Baron Corbin. You know what wasn't a bad gimmick for him was the Lone Wolf Baron Corbin. That was an awesome entrance. He was menacing, and we forget that that was the most protected finisher in WWE for so long. No one kicked out of End of Days until Drew McIntyre did it at WrestleMania. There's something about Corbin. I remember reading about that. He's like the most liked guy backstage because he will do anything they ask him to do. Like he'll lose and not complain, and like everyone likes him. Like I know he's big friends with like Corey Graves and stuff like that. But like Corbin has the potential to be like a huge star, and they just don't use him properly. He's one of those guys that like you'll like see in like 10 years they'll have like an article about like how they didn't use him properly, how he could have been a huge star. There's always those articles about guys that like had all the potential and they just didn't use him properly. He looked the part, they just didn't use him properly. Guys like Mason Ryan a bunch of years ago, like looked the part, but they never used him properly, and that's Baron Corbin.
But do you think I'm sorry. Do you think he's being like, my question for you is like, he's well liked, he's willing to do stuff, but like in my opinion, and as anyone who works for a business knows in general, like that's kind of being complacent. Like if you say do whatever you want to me, they're going to. Like I would like listen. I understand that, like, like I would bring it up, and I get we don't have to be behind the scenes, but like, listen, I'm the fall guy. Like I do all this shit. I'm not asking for much, but like give me something here. Like, if he doesn't demand that, if he doesn't make Vince stop, like, look at Shawn Michaels. Granted, he's a great wrestler, but all the drama he caused backstage, he doesn't deserve to be champion, but he still was because he was able to back it up. I think if you make a presence, whether it's good or bad, someone's gonna like look at you. Like they say with the fans, like if you're gonna boo or cheer, at least you're getting noticed. Even if Vince doesn't like you, at least you're on the radar. Corbin is just like the fall guy. If you need Corbin to do, that's designated Dave, designated driver is Corbin. It's just like, come on, Corbin. Like you are, like you said, the lone wolf. That was a huge, great gimmick. He's a big dude. He's tough looking. He is. If he was just quiet, he could even give Psycho Sid vibes. Like
yeah.
They just sort of, like you said, like bring him up, and then he's all these different gimmicks, and then it's like even they could even do that, like like have him come out and be his character, and be like, okay, this week I'm doing this gimmick, like make fun of himself a little bit, and then have him go a little crazy, and like do something. I don't know, but Corbin's gimmick is big.
Yeah, I remember the story that he was the one who Edge fought first when he came back because he's like the most trusted, safe wrestler in WWE. Like he would like catch Edge and like make sure his neck didn't hit. Like he was one who they trusted, but he can't go to many more gimmicks.
Yeah,
the fans are already giving up on him. Like he got that huge cheer in France, but eventually the fans are gonna be like, we just don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
As much talent as you have, we don't care.
Well, we're gonna come right back because we're about to end this session. We'll be right back. We're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna cover the Bloodline, Bianca Belair, and a lot more. The main event's gonna be awesome. We'll be right back. Stay tuned. Welcome back. I am Ant. I'm still the hot commodity and still your WWE favorite champion. Joined by my good friends and co-hosts. Introduce yourself, fellas. I guess not. Well, we got Ant and we got Christian.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you at all.
No, yeah, okay. Now I do.
Now I hear you, yeah.
Perfect.
Now I do. My bad. Sorry. I'm still Christian.
Myself in the corner now.
I'm still Christian. We're about to finish up SmackDown. Let's get it.
And I'm still Anthony, still out here.
And we're still killing it. All right, so we see the Bloodline come out. This is a huge promo. Roman Reigns come out, and Roman says, "Acknowledge me. Greatness garners respect. There's a lot of talk about royal families, but there's only one royal family. Every man in this ring main evented both nights of WrestleMania. We will be the only ones to do that. We pushed along into Backlash. Solo stepped up this time. There was concern because I'm in the ring with the best of all time." I just had a speech bent wing. That was awesome. He eliminates every problem, speaking of Solo. And he says, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, don't worry, they're not the problem. There's an actual problem, and the problem are your brothers. Roman then goes over to the Usos. He says, you thought you would lose the main event of WrestleMania? and then beg for a rematch and dedicate that match to me, and then you lose. I'm not in a tag team. We have Hall of Fame tag teams in our family, and you disrespect the bloodline and honor a tag match to me. Roman goes, I took time for me, and you misrepresented our family. Apologize. Jimmy starts to laugh, and then Roman, basically gets in Jimmy's face. He pushes him, and then he basically pushes Jimmy right in the face. Jimmy goes to attack, but before he does, Jay apologizes and asks for one more shot. Roman says the titles will come back to the bloodline. Fill them in, Paul. And then Paul takes the microphone and Paul says, the tribal chief has authorized me to flex our muscles, and the tag team titles we're going to come home to the bloodline at Night of Champions when Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn will lose the titles to Solo Sikoa and the tribal chief Roman Reigns. And then Roman says, at Night of Champions, I dedicate our victory to the greatest tag team, Alpha and Sika, the Wild Samoans. So, listen, the bloodline's definitely breaking up sooner than later. Christian, let me throw it to you. What do you think of this promo? I know when we were watching it live, you weren't a fan of this match.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Roman going after another title. Because you can't not have Roman Reigns lose. I don't give a fuck if it's. I know they did it with Cena and KO. I know they did it with that, but oh my, you cannot have this. And I just don't get it. I don't get it. I do, and I'll leave my predictions for that time, but I don't think they're gonna win it, and that's what's kind of weird to me. You can't. I just can't see Roman and Solo losing as a tag team. Why are they going for the title? Like, and it's just the fact that Roman's going after another undisputed title. I don't know.
I could
It's
definitely
just
Usos costing them or getting involved in some.
that's what I think is going to happen as well.
That's the only thing.
Yeah. All right.
Well, I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that plays out because I'm just not a fan. Because again, Roman has to win, or that's just that kills the whole tribal chief thing. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out.
I don't know. I mean, they could always win by disqualification, like something could happen, who knows. How about you, Ant? What do you think?
Yeah, so if let's say Roman and Solo do lose, Solo can't take the fall because then who is Roman trusting in the bloodline?
Mm-hmm.
Literally nobody.
Yeah.
So that causes an even bigger problem. He already hates the Usos. Now he's going to hate Solo. If Reigns takes the fall, that's just not happening. Like, Reigns doesn't take the fall anywhere. If they win, how many more titles are we going to give Roman? Yeah. You might as well not have a company. Let's just give Roman the titles and just end everything.
Yeah.
Like, let's just have this World Heavyweight title match, and then whoever wins that face Roman, and let's give him that one too. I don't get this. I mean, I'm more surprised that Sammy and Kevin are going over there. But I don't know. I understand the message behind it. Like, you guys have had a million chances. Now it's time for the tribal chief to go do the business. But maybe the Usos cost him it. That makes the most sense. But geez, I can't see any scenario playing out where Solo or Reigns takes the pin.
Also,
I don't see Heyman getting involved and turning on the bloodline. Like, I don't see that happening. This might be one of those things where WWE comes up with this idea that we definitely don't see coming, and they've been doing that more recently. Like, these ideas that we just don't see coming. I think they're going to have to do one of those because I don't see anything. And if Reigns wins, and I don't get any of it.
I'm scared for Sami Zayn's life. That's how they win. The friggin' God forbid. I mean, I don't even know how that's going to work out. But okay. All right. So we see Damage Control backstage. And Bayley's like, I think I pushed Io too hard. Tonight, we're going to win the women's tag team titles. And the match takes place. Liv Morgan and Raquel successfully defend against Damage Control when Io has the women's tag team title in her hands. Liv pushes Bayley into Io and then rolls up Bayley. Kind of not exactly what happened at Backlash to Io, but Io getting kind of a little bit of vengeance against Bayley, costing her the match. Kind of like not damage, kind of like Bloodline ending soon. Damage Control looks to be ending soon too. What are your thoughts on Damage Control? Bayley said that, Roman to look out. They were going to be running SmackDown, but and do you think Damage Control is going to last much longer?
No, I think the time's run up. When they came back, it was cool. Bayley came at the SummerSlam and introduced Io to the main roster, and Raquel Dakota came back, and like that was cool because she had just been released not soon before, pretty soon before. So that was cool. But the time has run on this. They had their tag team title reign. Now they're feuding with the champions there. So the time's seemingly run up. I could see a situation maybe where Io goes by herself, but I think Bayley's just too much of a star to be in a tag team. I think Bayley's like, I don't know, maybe we see a situation where even Bayley goes and turns face. I don't know if that's like an option at this point. I love the, inflatable arm filling two-man Bayley. Like, I thought that was, like, she was so good at that, but she's also become such an amazing heel. Like Bayley's really put in the work to be a good heel. Her stuff with Michael Cole is just so funny. But I think it's run its course. I know people like to bitch online how it doesn't really escalate. It hasn't really, elevated anybody in that group. But, it's proved to everybody that Io is, a single star. I don't think it's done too much for Dakota, really. Anyone that's watched her knows Dakota can go. And we've all known that Bayley can go, obviously. So we'll see, but I think the time's run up on it.
I agree, man. I think it's time for Damage Control to lose control. Christian, quickly to you, do you think, what are your thoughts on Damage Control? Do you think they're going to end too?
Yeah, I do think it's gonna end. I mean, the match was okay, but it's clearly building to Io Sky splitting away from the group. I don't know what Dakota Kai would do. I really can't see her being a singles competitor. She's always been in the tag team, for most of the time that at least that I have been following her. And Bayley, like Ant said, she's too much of a star to be on her own. She needs to be in the singles competition, competing for a world title. So we'll see what goes on with this group, but I definitely they're teasing this breakup, and Io Sky's a fucking and I know I don't want to be biased because it's my home territory. But I know the Puerto Rican crowd gave her a fucking pop.
Mm-hmm.
My only problem is I don't think she's getting that pop anywhere else. In the States, I don't think she's getting that pop. She needs a gimmick, and she needs something where us, the fans, are gonna want to make her watch it. That's my only thing. Because Bayley has that. Dakota Kai kind of has that if she sticks with Bayley. But Io really lacks that because she really only speaks Japanese. Asuka gets away with that, and I know she's on next, but because she's a great wrestler. I'm not saying Io isn't, but we just need a little bit more from her, and we'll see. But I'm excited to see how this group is going to break up in the future.
It's going to be awesome. I'm excited to see the stuff at these. I mean, we already know what Bayley can do, but I'm excited to see what Dakota and Io bring to WWE. Well, yeah, so we have the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair. She comes out to the ring, and she's having a little hometown celebration, and before anything can happen, Asuka comes out. We haven't seen Asuka since she lost at WrestleMania. Asuka extends her hand, and then she spits mist in Bianca Belair's eyes. Bianca freaks out, and we find out later that Asuka mixed supposedly like hot pepper sauce in it. So it looks like Asuka's going full heel. I mean, guys, what do you think here? I mean, do you think, honestly, I'm excited to see Asuka and Bianca again, but unless Bianca is going to lose the title, she needs to turn heel. Because I really am sick of seeing her be this good girl, always like, it's like, come on. She's done it now for 2 years. Let her be the EST. Christian, I'll ask you here. Are you excited for Asuka versus Belair again?
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things where you always say, we don't need to see this match again, and maybe we don't need to see this match again. I agree completely. I think Bianca Belair does need a gimmick change. She's been the same fucking gimmick since her NXT days. I swear, she's been a babyface. She's never been a heel. If someone correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think she's ever been a fucking heel.
In
Not
NXT,
even a hint.
Bianca was, yeah.
She was?
Yeah, and when she first started out, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well,
And
we
she was
need to see
good.
that.
It certainly wasn't memorable.
Yeah. No, it wasn't really memorable. But I will say the good thing about her, which I thought stood out, was the hair. You know, she was using it illegally at the time.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. I just
But
didn't know.
now it's like, you know, now she does it all the time, and it's kind of like, you know, we cheer
Yeah,
for her.
I just didn't know she was fully healed back then.
I
But
remember she
she
fought me.
needs
Go ahead, sorry.
no, yeah, sorry. It's just she needs a heel change right now. Gimmick's getting kind of old. Asuka, I think the crowd just likes her very, very much. She doesn't speak very English well for her to be a heel. For her to get really like hate from the crowd. Unless she does corny little shit like this. So I don't know. I mean, I guess I hope this is the last time we see this. I think it's Asuka. Asuka needs that fucking title, and there's a good chance here that I think I have a gut feeling Asuka's gonna take that title. So we'll see.
Listen, I hope it's the Empress of Tomorrow. How about you, Ant? Are you excited to see Asuka and Belair again?
No. This is when you start to believe that Vince has his hand in things again. When we keep seeing the same rematches over and over and over again, because we're so accustomed to it with WWE. We've seen it before. We've seen it on like the biggest stage of them all. Why do I have to see it again? And this is like the main problem with having these like 400+ day reigns. It's the same character. It's the same champion. It's the same person you see on TV every week. Every time she comes out here and she does the whole EST promo, blah 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 blah. We get it. Like we know how to spell EST at this point. Like we understand who you are. Yeah, we get it. You have long hair. We understand. Like it's the same thing. Like the reason why having a title switch hands, I'm not saying every week, but every once in a while, it gives a fresh face to the audience, to the to the public. Like it gives you a chance to like root for somebody else, for a new heel, for a new babyface, to like get a chance at moving up the ladder. I think the problem with having, and it's not just Belair, it's the other guys that are holding these titles for so long, is it really pigeonholes WWE into not building new stars. Like you can't build these new women stars or men stars because they can only go so high.
Yeah.
Like I've always wanted WWE to have a mid-card women's title because then they'd have something else to fight for. I know everyone's always against putting more titles, but like they have to have something else to fight for besides these two titles. And it's not the women's tag team titles, because then you need another woman to depend on. But like
Absolutely.
yeah, like let's say like a girl like Aaliyah, like she's going nowhere. Like she's not on TV because she can't.
Perfect. Thank
her.
you.
You can't use her for anything right now. And like Raquel Rodriguez, like she's a tag team champion, but she could be a huge star, but she can't right now because Rhea Ripley's not going to lose a title and Belair's not going to lose a title. So like, what do you do with her? You put her in a tag team with sorry, I'm totally blanking on it.
No, I'm just happy someone agrees with me.
Liv Morgan.
I literally said this.
So like, the men have so many opportunities that women don't have. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, Belair, it's like, okay, great. We get to see her again. But after 400 something days, there's a reason why the Puerto Rican crowd, changed on her, because they're tired of seeing her. They were just more vocal about it. The crowds here aren't as vocal. So no, I'm not excited to see them again. Are they both great wrestlers? Yeah, but
I think the problem too is, I agree with you guys really quick. I think that when you build up these people so hard, it's almost like the bosses in the video games. Like, you're like, now Bianca's been champion for so long. Whoever beats her, like, is gonna have to like do the same thing. Like, you gotta stop doing that. Not everybody needs to hold the title for more than a year, Bianca could have been a great champion for 6 months, lose it, get it back again. Like, there's no need to have her beat Becky's streak because they want to have someone new for their modern era. I just think I don't know. Something needs to change with Bianca. She's be elevated a little bit. There's been no enhancement to her character since she came here. Even as champion, she really hasn't done anything significant. It's just like, oh, I held on the title for so long. Let's talk about our main event. We're here, AJ Styles versus Bobby Lashley, and it was a great main event, a lot of good action. However, AJ gets the win after AJ he drives Bobby's face into the ring post, and talked about it earlier. AJ nails a phenomenal forearm and gets the win. After the match, AJ looks at the World Heavyweight title, and the OC come out and celebrate with him. Guys, let me ask you this. Well, I don't really want to ask you because we're gonna say his predictions, but does AJ Styles stand a decent chance now? You guys think?
I don't. Okay, so I don't. No, he doesn't, and this is just gonna be a banger of a fucking match. I these guys are so fucking good, and this is a match where everyone would I don't know about you guys, but what if I see Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles for a world title, I'm gonna fucking tune in, as a wrestling fan. So this is just great booking. But I think Seth Rollins will win. I would be shocked as fuck if AJ Styles wins here. And it's nothing against him because I love him. I love him so much. I've been a fan of him forever. I just think Rollins right now should be the guy carrying that title because Cody's the face of the company without holding the title. Let's just all fucking agree with that. But Rollins deserves that title. And this isn't a championship that Cody Rhodes this isn't the championship that Cody Rhodes needs. So I think I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. This title has Seth Rollins ever since they announced it. This title has Seth Rollins all written all over it. So I think Seth Rollins will get the win, but I do think AJ Styles was the right person to win. Good match. I'm just really, really surprised the crowd wasn't into it as much, because these are two great competitors, and we're starting to see AJ Styles compete since his injury again. And we saw these guys compete earlier in the night. Maybe that's why the crowd wasn't into it. But the finish was booked well. The match was good, booked well, and we'll see what happens at Night of Champions.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think AJ is gonna, we'll see. How about you, Ian? What do you think?
Yeah, decent match. The correct winner. I wonder how much of the decision is because of the name recognition. They're going to Saudi Arabia, so I think the marquee match is Styles Rollins. I think Rollins Lashley is a good match. Styles Rollins is a better match. When you go to an event that a country's paying $1 billion for, I think you give them the better match there. So I think the name recognition, definitely plays a part in it. But I hope they give this match a lot of time because I want to see Styles and Rollins just go after it. I hope Styles 100%. I hope he didn't come back too soon for this, and I'm sure he didn't. Styles is a smart guy. He's been in this company. He's been in this this business for way too long to be coming back too early, and he's up in his age, so he wants to make sure he's healthy. But I want to see these guys just deliver a great match. I don't know, but I know they keep saying they're not sure what's in the main event or not, but I hope this is either the main event or the one right before it. But I hope this is a great match. For me, I think Rollins is a clear choice for this title. Not just because he's the Raw guy, because like I said before, it's pretty easy to switch. I think it's gonna be a lot harder if Styles wins to switch the whole OC over to Raw logistically, but I think just Rollins is the guy. He's been hot for how long now? They keep singing a song, they keep doing all that stuff. I think Rollins is somebody that you can look at and go like, look, this is the guy that we want representing our company, while Roman is the other champion. So, and I think they mentioned on Raw maybe or SmackDown earlier that like this is gonna be like the workhorse champion. So like if that doesn't scream Seth Rollins, I don't know what does.
Well, also too, I'm thinking about now. You have like, as you were talking, I was just thinking about this really quick. You have like also like, Cody Rhodes talked about Gatekeeper, right? Talking about Brock Lesnar. If you talk about in TNA, in my eyes, to reach the top of TNA, you gotta fight Styles, right?
Gotta fight Styles.
In my eyes, to get to the top of WWE, you gotta fight Rollins at some point. So you have these two pillars, as the AEW calls people pillar. I'm stealing it. Defending, trying to find out who's the one. Who is the main person, who is the end all be all. I kind of like that idea with it. But yeah, I mean, I think AJ Styles and Rollins gonna be a good match. I missed their match at the Money in the Bank show. I left before the match happened, so and I actually never even actually watched that match, so I have to look back and check it out. But I'm excited for Night of Champions. I think that AJ Styles and Seth Rollins is definitely going to tear the house down. I just hope that the fans over there appreciate it. I'm sure they will. But yeah, I mean, so with that, I'm going to say goodbye. It was a decent episode of SmackDown. A lot's happening. We have Monday Night Raw actually playing out live, and based on Christian's face and reaction, I don't know how well it is going to be. So with that, I want to thank you guys for joining us. And I want you all to stay safe and stay uncensored. Bye, y'all. Peace.